When we discovered this ranking, we must admit that we were very puzzled. But then we saw that it is based on many international studies, and so we decided to present it to you to hear your opinion. In this video, we present the 10 smartest European countries with higher IQ levels. The IQ test evaluates logical and reasoning skills, but not all forms of intelligence, such as creativity or emotional intelligence. And as you will see in the video, if a country has a high IQ, it does not necessarily mean that the quality of life is high. In fact, there will be some nations that will shock you. Welcome to this new video from Amazing Europe. Number 10, United Kingdom. If you ask Americans whether they think the British are intelligent, the majority will answer yes. A university in New Jersey conducted a study to see why the British seem so intelligent to Americans. It was discovered that Americans use the word right to indicate that they are already aware of a topic, while the British use right to indicate that what they hear is informative and relevant to the ongoing conversation. So, chatting with a British person and always hearing them say right, Americans have convinced themselves that the British know a lot of things, but this is not necessarily true. In any case, it seems that the British are indeed intelligent, as they have an IQ of 99.12. After all, the United Kingdom is home to some of the best universities in the world. And at these universities, some of the world's brightest minds have studied. Think of Stephen Hawking or Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of the World Wide Web. Other British inventions that have changed our lives include the steam engine, which led to the Industrial Revolution, the steam locomotive, which revolutionized transportation, and the CT scan. Number 9, Switzerland. Did you know that Albert Einstein was Swiss? Actually, he had multiple nationalities. He was born in Germany but then also acquired Swiss, Austrian, and American citizenship. He lived in Switzerland for 18 years, and it is there that he graduated. Switzerland indeed has excellent universities, such as the University of Basel, the École Polytechnique FD Rail de Lausanne, and ETH Zurich, where Einstein graduated. Schools in general are excellent in Switzerland. In 2023, it ranked 8th in the world's best education systems. This is also thanks to the fact that more than 14% of the total budget is spent on schools. 1/3 of citizens aged 25 to 64 have a university degree or higher education qualification. No surprise then that Switzerland is the second country in Europe and the world for Nobel Prizes in relation to its population. The average IQ of the Swiss seems to be 99.24. Number 8, Hungary. Tied with Switzerland, with an IQ of 99.24, we find Hungary. The quality of life in these two countries is very different, and this shows that the IQ of a population is not necessarily determinative of a better quality of life. After all, the histories of these two nations are very different. Hungary was under the control of the Communist Party from 1949, but in October 1956, thousands of students and workers took to the streets in Budapest for a peaceful demonstration that turned into a revolt. The next day, Soviet troops entered the city at the government's request. Hungary had to wait for the fall of the Soviet Union to regain its freedom. In recent years, the living conditions of Hungarians have improved significantly compared to the past. From an educational perspective, Hungary is not doing badly either. It ranks 14th in the world in terms of high scores achieved by its students. Indeed, 29% of Hungarian students achieve exceptionally good results. Number 7, Luxembourg. Luxembourg is one of the European countries with the highest percentage of expatriates, and perhaps for this reason, it is one of the most intelligent. The people who expatriate to Luxembourg mostly work in high finance or entrepreneurship, attracted by the tax benefits and high earnings that this small country offers. It is also an excellent destination for career women, as it is the only country in Europe where women earn on average more than men. 79% of expatriates in Luxembourg come from other European Union countries. This makes the Luxembourgish educational system a multilingual system. The official languages of instruction are Luxembourgish, French, and German. Students become familiar with these three languages from an early age, as well as with English. Perhaps this also contributes to Luxembourg's high IQ of 99.87. Number 6, Estonia. Estonia surpasses 100 points and reaches an IQ of 100.74. Who would have thought that this small country from the former Soviet Union would be one of the smartest in Europe? Yet it is one of the best countries in the world for student performance. The Programme for International Student Assessment has conducted various international studies and has shown that Estonian students are among the top in the world. They are first in Europe in mathematics and science, and second in reading. Thanks to this, Estonia is focusing heavily on technological and computer studies. Not everyone knows that Skype was invented here, or that Estonia is also a leader in the development of e-government solutions and digital public services. It has also made significant contributions to cybersecurity. Number 5, Netherlands. Dutch students are also very good in mathematics, even if they do not excel in reading and science. Yet some of the greatest scientific inventions were made in the Netherlands. It was the Dutch who invented the lenses that would later be used in telescopes, and a Dutchman also invented the microscope. The first submarine was also invented in the Netherlands, and Philips, a Dutch multinational, helped develop CDs and 3D ultrasound. It is a country of great scientists, some of whom have even won the Nobel Prize. The Netherlands is indeed the 10th country in Europe for the number of Nobel Prizes per capita. There is also another invention for which the world will be forever indebted to the Netherlands. It is the orange carrot. The original colors of the carrot were mainly purple and violet. The color orange developed in the Netherlands, according to legend, to honor the House of Orange. The founder of this dynasty had indeed liberated the Dutch from Spanish rule. The IQ of the inhabitants of this small nation seems to be 100.74. Number 4, Germany. Germany and the Netherlands have several things in common. The IQ of Germans is also 100.74, just like that of the Dutch. Germany also has one of the highest numbers of Nobel Prizes relative to its population. Germany has produced many inventions that have changed our way of life. Think, for example, of the printing press or the automobile. Although an ancestor of the automobile was invented by a Frenchman, it was Carl Benz who mounted a two-stroke engine on a vehicle, giving rise to the modern car. We should also remember that Germans were at the origin of the discovery of X-rays and aspirin. The German chemist Felix Hoffmann managed to synthesize acetylsalicylic acid in a stable form for medicinal applications, thus inventing aspirin. Not everyone knows that just 11 days later, he also synthesized heroin. Perhaps we are less grateful for this. Number 3, Liechtenstein. There is not much information about Liechtenstein to compare it with the other countries on this list. This small country is not part of the Programme for International Student Assessment, and none of its inhabitants have ever won a Nobel Prize. However, it seems that its inhabitants have an average IQ of 101.7. In any case, they are intelligent enough to have a public debt close to zero. This is not just because Liechtenstein is a small state, as Andorra and San Marino have much higher public debt. It is also thanks to smart financial maneuvers. Liechtenstein was one of the European countries least affected by the financial crisis of 2008. That year, even Liechtenstein went into the red, with a deficit of 133 million euros. But by 2009, it ended the year in the black, with a surplus of 62 million euros. Number 2, Finland. Nokia, connecting people. This is the famous motto of Nokia, the Finnish multinational cell phone manufacturer. Indeed, it has connected many people thanks to SMS, a technology created by a Finnish engineer. Nokia is no longer as prominent due to Apple and its iPhones. Perhaps the Finns sought revenge on the Americans with Linux, as it was a Finn who invented Linux, the open-source operating system that seeks to be an alternative to Apple's and Microsoft's systems. Perhaps part of the credit for this intelligence goes to the Finnish education system, considered one of the best in the world. It is a system that does not encourage competition but rather cooperative work, and it places a lot of emphasis on experience and practical learning rather than rote memorization. Before revealing the European country with the highest IQ, if you found this video interesting, please kindly give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell. Thank you very much. Number 1, Belarus. Belarus is a classic example of how IQ and quality of life do not always go hand in hand. Although not all rankings agree on putting Belarus in the first place in Europe, many still place it in the top 10 nations or the top 5. Some studies claim that it is due to genetic factors, while others attribute it to the Belarusian education system. However, the nation does not seem to be able to definitively improve its working, economic, and social conditions. To be clear, the situation is improving over time, but it is still far from the European average. As for unemployment, for example, the exact rate is unknown. Official estimates state that there is only 1% unemployment. Some point out that many unemployed people in Belarus try to avoid being officially registered as unemployed due to mandatory public works. A former Belarusian minister claims there is 10% unemployment, while other estimates report percentages of 15% or even 24%. In any case, the IQ of Belarusians is 101.6, making it the 7th highest in the world. Out of curiosity, we reveal that the most intelligent country in the world is Japan, with an IQ of 106.48 points. The top 6 nations with the highest IQ in the world are all Asian. If you found this video interesting, we recommend the one at the top right of the screen, where we show you in which European countries it is really hard to make ends meet. That's all for this video. See you next time.